I don't know why this eye is so much darker than the other. I did them at like the same time, so like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at makeup because I haven't done it in ages. And also, hello, welcome to Mostly Straight Hair. I'll be back in just a second, and I'll tell you way too much about hair. Um, oh, I need to do. Why'd I turn off the lights? Like, genuinely. Someone answer that question for me. Okay. So, I need to send live notifications before I start talking about hair, or maybe I can try and do both at the same time, but who knows how that'll go. So I have bangs. I don't know if I had bangs last time I streamed, but I have bangs now. Deluxe. So basically, uh, right, you know, like my hair, you know, my bangs were just not behaving. Do they ever behave? That's, I don't know. Okay, let's, and I was like, oh, I should wash them, but I like don't want to like fully shower because like my hair, I just didn't want to deal with it. So I washed just my bangs and I'm like, not feeling this. Ooh, crit, sweet. I keep doing the ooh woo, like, text because I am like hee hee ho ho, funny funny, when it's not. Okay, bub bub bub. Parable, whatever. Who cares about spelling? Twitch TV. Okay. So basically I wash my hair with just shampoo because I'm like, okay, since I don't want to like, because like my hair, it's naturally curly, and so it can be an absolute pain to like take care of it and make sure that it, like, looks nice. And so I didn't want to go through the whole like conditioner thing because I didn't want to spend like 10 minutes dealing with it right then and there. And so I'm like, okay, I'll just shampoo it because it's greasy and nasty. And I'm like, oh, this is a perfect excuse to like dye my hair because then the dye will stick better because there's not like a bunch of like sulfates and stuff on my hair. Because like I mainly use like non-sulfate and what is the other one? Paraben stuff, but I do still use it because like it's one of those things where like I try not to, but at the same time like I don't care, you know. Uh and so I'm just like and so I used like a sulfate shampoo and to like really get my hair nice and for the dye so it hopefully sticks better. Because I haven't dyed my hair in a while and like it's alright, but like it could be better. I don't know. I've had too much chocolate today, and considering I'm allergic to milk, like, you know, it's how it goes. Ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Okay, hopefully this launches and we're just fine. So I was a massive fan of the original, like, Stanley Parable, like, when it first came out. And so I played it so much I had it memorized, and the, like, 10-hour Adventureline soundtrack, both the original and the Christmas, were very overplayed in my house because I was annoying. Still am, but that's up for debate. And so when the deluxe came out, I was super excited because I knew it had new content, but at the time, I'm like, I don't need to buy a new game when I have so many in my library that I'm not playing, and, I ended up buying it. So we're playing it. I know I'm months late, but, like... Okay, We're doing this webcam position. Where's my mouse? I lost it. Okay. I need to put on socks. My feet are cold. Also, just ignore the fact I'm wearing pajama pants. I know it breaks the illusion, but just pretend. Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. I've got socks on now. I'm pretty cool. Well, they're not fully on, but, I'm very prepared for this stream. Okay? Okay? Yes, my hair is in my eyes, yet again. Okay, we're going with English subtitles. Because I speak English mainly. I have. Do I need to move my webcam? Hopefully it's fine. Okay. Till it's just visible. There we go. Please enter the current time. Bold of you to assume I know that. It's 4:51. Okay. I need a drink. Okay, is the background audio too loud? I'm gonna... I think it might be. It's so hard to judge by eye. What are in the settings? Field of view, camera, show subtitles, audio, controls. Okay. It's one of these days. Maybe I should move my camera. Okay, yeah, we'll do right. Just ignore everything before. Game sounds good. Thank you. Wow, 12 months. That's so many. A whole year. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now I'm gonna finally actually play the game. I've been so excited for this for so long. Hopefully the stream will actually remember chat exists.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, oh wow, that's super sensitive. I'm gonna lower my mouse sensitivity. Okay. Okay. Do do do. Sure, let's turn that on. I don't want auto walk on. Controls. Okay. Okay, yeah, that feels better. F1. Floor 1, okay. I hate Mondays. Okay. I'm gonna follow the narrator.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Come on. Oh. Actually, I know I said I was going for normal ending, but like, come on. I've almost got this. Come on. Come on. Let's go! Void ending!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
It is.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Oh, let's go.
Okay, I'm over it now.
I'm not.
What do you think?
I'm not.
Have you seen this gag yet?
No, I'm not.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option?
Of course.
Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration?
The rest of my life?
This is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky.
I'm pretty lucky.
Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
In the original Stanley Parable, this was like my third favorite ending. Because and they've changed it. Is there a... I'm gonna look at the controls. Sorry, poor, okay. I wanna choose the other one. I know I said I was following the path, but like, I don't do anything. Actually, yeah, no. I can...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay, so
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Come on.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Haha.
co-workers.
I got it. Let's go!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map.
I love the
until
void.
he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place
I still
to
think
be?
it is.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay,
I lost my
I'll
mouse
leave it
again.
now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then.
No, I
Now
can't.
would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game.
Yeah,
So, just
I
to
feel
push
like
the
that.
envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and
Ooh.
see how long you can maintain.
I've got a lot of patience, though. Elevator music. Let's go.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
This makes more sense if you've done the other endings.
And lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
I already am, so. No. This is one of the hidden endings. But it's okay. It's okay. I checked the box that said I'd already played the game, so too late. I really did go for one of the most, like, obstinate? Is obstinate the right word? Maybe. I will restart the game. Okay. We'll come back to that ending later. Wait, no. No. Well, too bad. We're going with the normal ending. We'll go back there and see how long it goes.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, I'll be playing the entire game, so. Just because I'm not blind. I don't know.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Which door should I go through? I think I'll just follow the narration this time.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I seriously meant to go through the, like, correct door, but I don't know left from right, apparently. Well, I played the original Stanley Parable, which came out in, like, 2010, and this one released this year, and it completely, changes the, like... It adds a bunch of stuff. I don't know exactly what's in it, because I've been avoiding things like the plague.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Number 1, Dad. I heart money?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Fuel.
Really worth.
Coffee nut.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Why are the lines cutting out slightly early? Oh, there's a mug there. What does it say?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
What? Why do the lines keep cutting off? I don't know. Maybe I should leave. But you see... Okay.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room, and
It's
took
truly
the first
amazing.
open door on his left to get back to business.
Why is the dialogue cutting like that?
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I'm gonna start this run over because the game audio is glitched, I think. I don't know. I might be making that up.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Speed run. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, that's not cutting off. Good.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
It's so tempting, but I'm gonna try to do things normally. What's over here? It's a door. Okay. Sure. This is exciting.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let a ball up inside you. Take out passive-aggressively on... Using slide switcher, a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure a calm and productive work environment. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Next slide. Number of slides on this slide. Charts, slides, charts, and slides. I am gonna sit here and do this. Rate it which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Charts, numbers, oh. Increase the graphs per slides. Please no more charts, I'm begging. Stop, stop, stop. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill in, triplicate, and return. Okay. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined toward conflict, unless you're the kind of person who initiates less air, metamorphosis, comatose, transcend, a boat, mitosis, talk less, do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day with no expectation of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. What is hot? Teenagers. No, 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 that's... target demographic teenagers. Oh no. Sometimes I say words. We need more/less reviews. Want to get rid of the death sport portion of the primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net? Some sort of child trap? Space in between teenagers. Throw something in the bin. No more... Okay. Okay, I will leave the room. Eventually. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market parade. Monetize free to play. Okay. Oh, the broom closet. I'll come back for you, my love.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
He's cutting off the dialogue again. I'm just have to live with it. Executive bathroom? I need to go in here. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Extreme bathrooms. I can't read that. Let's go. I love bathrooms. Okay. What does this monitor say? Absolutely nothing. The beige pages. I'm really just reading everything.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, let's go. Creepy atmosphere. And it's dark. I hope y'all can see. Elevators. Loading, 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 loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ooh. Ah! Sparks.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. We're not escaping. We're going to the mind control facility. Okay, okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay. Do I? Of course I do. Of course I do. I'm very powerful.
Now the monitors
Fired.
came to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number
Fired.
of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers.
The camera's not
The lives
working.
of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Pirate. Pirate. Continue on.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Isn't that just the nature of capitalism, though?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh. It made a bleep noise. Five. There's another white button over there. For some reason, I really want to jump. There's a 3. There's a 1. 2. Okay, let's go 1, 2. I'm really bad at this kind of thing. 3. I'm gonna go up the stairs so I can't see. I can't. Okay. Never mind. I like the ominous pit. I want to go into the ominous pit. I'm glad I did that. It was a good experience.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
That was loud.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Why am I gonna cry? Like, genuinely?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh. Ooh, I got 2 achievements. Let's go. Okay, now I'm gonna disobey everything.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
I don't know
simply
why
missed
I'm
a
like...
memo.
I don't know why I'm crying at that ending. Like,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
Let's
perfectly
go.
well.
Let's go.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by
Speed
the
run,
employee
speed
lounge
run.
first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
Truly.
What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper. Something darker.
It truly is. It's the blinds. I love them.
Yes. Really, really worth it being here in the room.
It's worth every
A
moment.
room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some
No, I'm
paintings.
only looking at the
Really worth it.
blinds. It is. It truly is. Why am
At this
I...
point, Stanley's obsession with this room...
Okay, okay, I get it. I
and
get it. I'll
affected
move on.
poorly on his overall. But at
I'll move
last,
on.
he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not... Caution. Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Hear that? Can I get on this chair? No. What? A4. A4. That's the size of paper. Oh, you know.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm
No.
not your enemy, really.
You are.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
I don't know.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly play... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone?
Yes. Yes, I don't
That
answer
wasn't
the phone
supposed to
from
be a
no
choice.
one.
How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I am. I am real.
I can't believe
Let's
I was
go.
so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choice, and to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation?
No.
Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
I love instructional videos.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice.
Rupert.
He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real.
Life
Allow
lesson.
the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness, it's 4:30.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Okay.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that
Forklift.
this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been.
Stop.
This way, please.
Okay, we're going this way.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off
That's
the platform.
spoilers!
Imagine the main character dying
That's
senselessly.
spoilers!
That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
I can't believe he's spoiling other endings for me, who definitely does not know them, because I've definitely never played a Stanley Parable game before. Never in my life. Not once have I even thought about it.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
I'm gonna sit here. I'll sit here for as long as it takes. Okay, actually, yeah, no, I'm not gonna wait.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite
I'll
sure
try.
you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and
I'll
you'll
try,
be
I'll
fine.
try.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
What? We might not be too late. Yes, I agree.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe
S,
after everything
okay.
we talked about that my story. You've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What
Joy.
did you think was so
Joy.
special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Oof. Oof.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
On purpose.
What, did you think that would be funny?
It was funny.
You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you?
No.
You're a child.
Yeah, I'm a self-obsessed child.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door
and left.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibility and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
Right?
When
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left. The door's unlocked.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
I somehow skipped the trigger. Means choosing responsibility and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
All right. When
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left. I'm actually going to do the right thing this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I might find an answer there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I've been railroaded. Can I go in the bathroom at least? No? The bathroom isn't here anymore. I guess the boss doesn't need a bathroom anymore.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley
different.
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
What was it? Night Shark 125?
Stanley spoke the code.
Oh, I said it
Night
incorrectly.
Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do.
I do.
Asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story
Does he?
seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you...
Hi?
Is everything okay?
No.
Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me?
No.
Is everything all right?
No.
Stanley, this is important.
No.
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me?
No.
Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
No.
So, you hear me?
No, not at all.
Yeah. You listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
He sounds so sad.
Take as much time as you need.
The end is never the end. The end is loading.
All of his co-workers were
It's
gone.
gone. What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content? Hello?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
What? Okay. Let's go. New content. Oh, I love new content. My hands are cold. The end is never the end. The end is loading.
Hello,
Game Factory.
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Uh-huh.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
I'm so excited.
Oh, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Ooh, I am too.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet.
I'm sure it'll
but
get better.
I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing
We're on the same
adventure.
page.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or...
Oh.
There we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, oh, okay.
Ooh,
Let's
content.
see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, I want the content so badly.
All right.
The
All right,
jump
let's see
circle.
what's- The jump circle?
I can jump! Can I jump outside? No. Only in the circle. I love this. Let's go. I love... Can I jump out of the circle? Ooh. So exciting. I love new content. 10 out of 10. What happens when I run out of jumps? I bet I'll just not be able to jump. I'm out of jumps. No.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Ooh, elevator! Let's go.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping.
Oh,
Is
it
this
definitely.
for exciting new content?
I don't
If
know
this is
about
new
you.
Content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's
Oh,
20
do it.
hours of new
Do
content
it.
right there. Hell,
Do
I
it.
could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the book. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And, oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
I'm looking for the
Yes. I knew there
dictionary.
had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Okay, there's Void. I love Void. Thank you for enjoying
That's
the new
it?
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievement, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks, just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, I was gonna say no, but I guess the end is loading. It's almost like I'm there in real life. Okay, up the stairs.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
I'm in the bed. Sus. Sus. Among Us. Venting. Hello, I'm venting. I should not be yawning. It's not even 6 p.m.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
I want to take a look. Okay. I'm so hyped up. Ooh! Printer.
I call it the Memory Zone.
Oh!
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
This is cool. The Memory Zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
I'm gonna cry again. Smile because it happened. A trip down memory lane. The first dollar demonstration? Unachievable. New video game releasing. Creators surprisingly down to Earth. $50% off designer hat, but a small creature owns the other half. In loving memory of little Stanley. Oh man. There's a bench to look out that I can't actually get to. There's a piano.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I should have sat and listened to the whole song. Memories on maintenance. Oh, there's a photo portal. My favorite part of this game. Oh, there's the Minecraft section. Wow. The buttons. Oh, okay. The end is never the end. Oh, man.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. Oh, these were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh, this is so exciting.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, I hope so.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
It's muddy. Oh, it's over there. I see something. What is it? Oh, it's a hole in the texture. Dear Liza, dear Liza, there's a hole in my texture. Okay.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
I don't know.
It's actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Maybe not, but that's how things go. Okay.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to... Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut
No.
up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah
I do.
blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until
Okay, it's looping.
245.
It's
The
looping.
logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise, or maybe a manifesto. Look,
Perhaps.
I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same
Schrodinger's
time,
choice.
by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto.
Honestly, I really like
Manifesto.
pretentious stuff, so like
Treatise,
I
manifesto.
was enjoying that
Treatise,
ramble.
Manifesto.
Okay.
Treatise.
I would sit there for like 5 minutes,
Well
but
there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, but that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their rating in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button.
maybe.
Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review. so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Oh, there's no subtitles for this. Peace. I'm just gonna vibe for a second. Oh, you can see that. Yeah, I was looking at the Steam achievements.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here.
I'm supposed to press the skip button, right? That's what he's saying?
Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
I'm gonna push it again.
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you. Oh,
You can't.
God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about the merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room waiting for you to press this button and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I have the power to prevent it all
Poor
from happening
narrator.
if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, no, no. I know it too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
That's a repeat.
Oh, Stanley,
Sorry.
you're back.
I like you,
You're
but...
back. Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking, and you saying nothing.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking?
Uh-huh.
But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than any, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real.
This is
Maybe
hitting too close to
I'm
home.
just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yeah. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Honestly, that honestly struck on a lot of things for me and nearly made me cry, because, like, part of why I like stream and like making videos is because like I'm talking and someone could potentially hear and like care about what I'm saying or something. You know, it's one of those things to like fill the void of, you know, like if I'm not being perceived, then am I even real? I forget exactly which like philosophical thing that is the whole like things are only real when they're being perceived. But you know, like I kind of feel like that about my own like personhood. You know, I'm only a person if someone is potentially there to view it. Okay, I'm pressing the skip button instead of having an introspective breakdown. Oh, I can
Hello.
just barely
It's
see.
You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
You know what? You gotta suffer. For my enjoyment. What is that beeping? I don't want to hear that.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned. They screamed. They gnashed their teeth and said, "Entertain us." It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review.
He's still on about this.
Demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us. Now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency. It's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, "Oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place," while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn.
You don't need to call me out like this.
Find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleak. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of
So
me
salty.
using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think. To feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This,
Maybe.
you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
You gonna say anything? Gonna say some words? No? Okay. Maybe this time. Maybe the end.
Is never the end, 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 is
Me.
never the end.
There's a stepladder.
Is never the end, is never the end.
There's water dripping.
Is never the end, 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 is never the.
Walk my little lappy. Make sure my legs don't die. The strips. That's cool. I found where the water was. Ooh. Cool. Oh, it's sunny now. Rebel. The clock got smashed. And the poor remains of the tree. Oh, let's go. This music is bopping. But like, in an emotional way. Now it's cold and dark, and all the plants are dead. Am I approaching the heat death of the universe? Oh, it's fallen over. I can escape. It's an endless desert. Okay, I'm going to stop here for the night because I'm extremely cold and hungry. So, thank you for watching. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'm gonna play more of this game later. I plan on doing a super long stream New Year's Eve. So, um, bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.